Hello and welcome to the Archie Luxury Program. Today we're continuing the series Wristwatch Legends, and I hope you've enjoyed this series here. We've looked at some wonderful watches, and I'm continuing with this series as long as I can get information on iconic legends. Now, one of the most iconic wristwatches of all time is the Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso. I mean, what watch itself isn't just so iconic, enthralled in history? I mean, it started off in 1931 as a watch for British officers in India to wear when they were playing polo. I mean, how more aristocratic can it get than that? And it's evolved over the years. It's turned in now to be, according to the Watch Snob, an authority on watches, it's the ultimate dress watch. And what a history, what a time. And the Reverso, you know, it has had a bad patch there too. I mean, after World War II, when the rage was all for slim, circular type watches, the Reverso line did have a dark period there, and it wasn't until the 80s that the series came back again and started to prosper, and then the 90s when it just took off. And I've got to say, Archie's a huge Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso fan. I'm very fortunate to have the Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso Grand Date, and I love it. And I don't know what you can say. The Reverso to me is just one of the greatest pieces that has ever been produced, and I've got to put the Reverso in the Legends series. And the thing about the Reverso is it uses that magic formula, you know, that formula, the dimensions of the length to the width, and this is the whole thing. It uses that 1:6 ratio, the golden ratio that gives it that most beautiful, stunning piece. And you know, the Reverso itself is steeped in history. It also comes from one of the most iconic makers, which is Jaeger-LeCoultre. I mean, Jaeger-LeCoultre is one of the iconic brands, and Jaeger-LeCoultre is also very, very famous for making movements and parts for other makers. And you know, if you look at the golden era, where the holy trinity of AP, PP, and VC, they all relied on Jaeger-LeCoultre parts from time to time. And even you look at classic calibers like the ultra slim Audemars Piguet 2003 movement. It's Jaeger-LeCoultre based, and this is the thing. Jaeger-LeCoultre is just such an extraordinary brand, and I think the beautiful thing about Jaeger-LeCoultre is that they've always been very good value for money in luxury watches. I mean, they're not a cheap watch, of course not. I mean, Jaeger-LeCoultre is an expensive watch, but you look at bang per buck. Like I've got a Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso Grand Date, which is about $15,000 new. I mean, that's in steel on a leather strap. And I mean, you compare that. So it's a watch that's minutes, hours. It's got the sub-second. It's got a power reserve and a 2-disc date system. Compare that. What would that complication cost in a Patek or a Vacheron? You know, and this is the thing. Jaeger-LeCoultre has such wonderful value for money pieces, and to be completely frank and honest with you, the you know, my Reverso in steel, you'd think, oh geez, do I wish I had the gold one? The answer is no. I actually love my Reverso in steel. That is my choice metal. And yes, gold is beautiful, and I have had a gold Reverso, and I love gold. It's got a beautiful luster to it, but I've got to be honest with you. To me, a Reverso in steel on a leather strap is just an iconic legend. It doesn't get any better than that. And the Reverso itself, it had its anniversary, the 80th year of the Reverso, which was 2011, which was last year. And it's really had some huge publicity and some huge admirers of the Reverso, and I think it's an iconic symbol of good watchmaking, and I'm just so pleased that the rectangular type watches are coming back into fashion, and the Reverso can do no wrong. I mean, it's the original flipping watch, and I just think myself, iconic legends go. You can't get any more iconic or any more legend than a Reverso, and every true collector needs to have a Reverso in their collection. And the interesting thing is with the Reverso, I mean, Reverso, they've got a size called the Classique range, which is the traditional men's size Reverso, and today that's probably a bit small. It's a little bit. The fashions have changed, and as I've said before, the Calatrava started off it had a diameter of about 30 mils, and the Reverso, it was that the smaller watches were the go, and now the Reverso has released the Grand series, and they're just adding a new dimension. The beautiful thing about it is, however, they've kept that golden ratio going, that 1:6 ratio, and I think that's part of the appeal of the Reverso. But look, it is certainly one of the most iconic pieces of all time, and it doesn't matter which Reverso you go for, whether it's a Classique, or whether it's a Reverso Grand Date or Sun Moon. They're just so many iconic, just so many beautiful Reversos out there. And I've got to say, they had the Squadra, that's the square type Reverso, and I think that kind of loses it a bit, because it's as the name implies, it's a square. It hasn't followed the Reverso proportions, so I think it's best to stay with tradition and use that golden ratio, and that's my own feelings. Other people love the Squadras, but I've kind of been a bit I don't think they're as nice as the Reversos themselves there, but yes, the Reverso from Jaeger-LeCoultre, it's just a classic. It's a legend. And I don't think you could have a series on wristwatch legends without talking about the Reverso. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and please continue to watch the series. Thanks very much.